In our profession, if you can show up again another year, it's always a great year. So I'm happy to be back, happy to represent Baylor in the Big 12. I was at a luncheon a few days ago, actually here in Dallas, and somebody asked me, what's your highlight, Coach? Give me a highlight over the last couple of years or something. And I said, hey, a highlight to me is this time of year. This time of year when there's so much anticipation, so much energy, so much hope and vision that, it just kind of makes you be excited, makes you be happy, makes you be fired up because everybody's got aspirations and dreams, and it's our job to help people fulfill them. So this is the best time of year, and I'm like I said, very thankful to be at Baylor University and being a member of the Big 12. So we're excited about this season. We feel like we got a unit that understands each other, loves each other, respects each other, and knows how to win football games, and that's a critical thing. There's all kinds of experience. Our guys have good experience. They have winning experience. They have championship experience, and that's a big feather in Baylor's cap in our locker room, because that's what runs your football team is your locker room, and we got good guys in there that are great leaders, and there's 4 of them here today that represent us in a great fashion. So I'm very proud of them.
Okay, we'll take questions for Coach. If you put your hand up, we got one in the middle right here, and then we'll move a little bit further back. Again, if you would, please state your name and your affiliation.
Art, Tim Griffin with the San Antonio Express News. How are you doing today?
Good.
A lot's been made about the change at quarterback. I wonder how you would compare Seth maybe to where Briles was at the same point in their careers.
That's a great question, and certainly a fair question. Quite honestly, I felt like I knew Briles just a little bit better, what his abilities were, how his mind worked, and I thought how he would perform. With Seth, it's still kind of a process to where, we're trying to fill out exactly, how to coach him, what motivates him, what his strengths are, and make sure that we give him opportunities to be successful. He's got a tremendous amount of talent. He's got a tremendous amount of drive. He's a local kid from Garland High School, and he's a guy that I really respect his work ethic, his attitude, and his take on how he needs to perform. So those things are pretty clear. I mean, the thing that we've got to do is make sure that he doesn't feel like he's got too much pressure, on himself to perform at an extremely high level, because with 9 back on defense and some pretty good people around him offensively, you just got to be good. You don't have to be great. You just got to be predictable, and that's what we'll expect out of him, especially early till we get a feel, and then we'll turn him loose.
Question on the aisle right there in front of you.
Coach Ben Kirchhoff from Bleacher Report, right in the middle.
Yep. Okay.
Close enough.
Bleacher Report's pretty on most of their calls, so I'd like to see you. Where you at? Right
here, sir.
Okay. All right. Y'all are kind of out there on info pretty quickly most of the
time. I have a question about the other Bryce Hager on defense, losing him. What kind of ground do you have to make up then in terms of, what he did for that defense in terms of the leadership and the productivity?
Yeah, I mean, any Bryce and Bryce. I mean, anytime you lose guys that have started for 2 or 3 years and middle linebacker, quarterback, center, all those guys are key cogs, it's because they're in leadership positions. And so we lost 2 out of 3. We got Kyle Fuller back at center, but we lost Hager and we lost Petty. So, yeah, those are big puzzles, pieces that we have to fill. But, we like our guys. We like our people that we got there. We feel very good about Grant Campbell, Taylor Young, Raekwon Davis, Avion Edwards. So we got people that we have a lot of confidence in that have made plays for us in the past. And, the only way to get an opportunity is to have game day experience to play on game day. And once these guys get a chance to play, then you have opportunity to prove yourself. I mean, RG3, Nick Florence, Bryce Petty. Now we'll see what Seth Russell can do. But you have to have a chance to get on the field to perform, and we got some guys that are going to be given that chance.
Right across the aisle, Coach, we got another question for you.
Coach, Ben Dotson with RCFB. What are you doing to combat penalties this year?
Penalties?
Yes.
You know, I mean, trying not to commit them first of all, but I mean, it's, you know, I mean, it's a subjective game, you know, quite honestly, from the player standpoint to the officiating standpoint. You know, so it's, you know, it's kind of momentum. Momentum works for you, it works against you, you know, and in the football field, in life, and in the penalty situation. So it's a situation of where, you know, it's certainly been critical against us, you know, at critical times. You know, I'm flashing with about 8 or 10, you know, examples in my head, but on the flip side, you know, we've fortunately been able to, you know, maintain at a pretty high level of performance on the field where we've been able to overcome, you know, some of the drawbacks of penalties. It's, you know, it's the nature of the game, and you don't have to accept it, but you got to deal with it.
We got another question right there across the aisle.
Right here in the middle, Coach. Cedric Bailey, BGC Sports. Since 2010, you've been there, you turned this program around. Can you talk about where the progress you've made in these past 5 years, and compared to the other teams, you've got to be really pleased with the success you've been able to put together at Baylor? You
know, I don't know if pleased would be the right word. I just think that we've, you know, kind of been on a mission, you know, and our mission has been to create an atmosphere of excellence, of championships, and of guys that can play at a fearless attitude and a fearless level. And, you know, that's just kind of been our goal. We didn't jump in there and say we want to do this and you know, be better than that. We just want to be the best that we can be. And so what we've tried to do, or what we have done, is we've just maintained you know, a fence around our program, and we haven't looked at anybody else. We just, you know, worked from within and said, this is the way that we're going to do it. This is Baylor's way. We're going to concentrate on what we do, and we'll see how it turns out. So we've been fortunate with getting good people, you know, great new stadium, great attendance, great energy from our fan base, and it turns into great results.
Right there in front of you, Coach, on the right-hand side.
Hi, Art. Suzanne Halliburton from Austin American Statesman. I wanted to ask you.
This is my right.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, I was saying this is my right. That would be her right, my left. But
I
not
apologize,
that
Coach.
not that I'd ever call you out.
Anyway, I was going to ask you about your
I see.
defense. Hey, and
Yeah.
you brought Sean and Andrew, and you've always talked about that the defensive line could possibly be the best in the country. I think I'm quoting you. But what about your secondary? And are those, even though you have a lot of starters back, are those jobs open in August or up for competition?
Yeah, you know, we really feel good about our D-line, and we felt real good about them a year ago. You know, last year, you know, we were saying, you know, I felt like they had a chance to be the best in the Big 12. You know, this year I certainly feel like, you know, they have a chance to be the best in the nation. And that coincides with how your secondary can play. You know, if we do a great job up front, then certainly lets the secondary play a little more freely and have the offense have less time to make decisions. But on the back end, we feel really good about those guys. You know, we got 4 guys back that started last year. Once again, you know, a couple of them have started for a couple of years out there, so they'll be 3-year starters. And they've got good experience. You know, it gets magnified, you know, as you progress and get into the big games, to where, you know, you might say, hey, you know, that might be a weakness or a flaw, but you have to understand that, you know, to get to those big games, you have to win big games. And so these guys have all helped us win games. We have a tremendous amount of confidence in them, and there will be some heated competition, you know, throughout fall camp and really as into the season progresses.
Okay, Coach, we're going to try to get you back on track. Right here in the middle, right
Okay.
straight in front of you. There you
Yes,
go.
sir.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trip.
Hi, Bryce.
Art, you have the new silver helmet there in front of you. I think they officially call it gunmetal gray. And then, you know, what's your impressions of that? But do you have a favorite out of the assortment of helmets that you guys have?
Yeah, that's the first I've heard that. Gunmetal gray. Yeah, it's a little wordy for me, but that's, you know, that's, yeah, we like it. You know, it's something that, you know, we dreamed up a couple of years ago. Of course, nothing happens overnight. So, you know, we were afraid we're going to have to wait till 16. They got it to us in 15. But, you know, I think it'll be nice. It'll be a good change. You know, it's a neutral color that, you know, we can fit into our color scheme. as far as a favorite, I mean, if we got one more point than the other and we got that helmet on, it's a favorite for me, you know, at that day. So, you know, our guys, you know, usually end up, you know, picking out what we're going to wear. So I'm kind of neutral on all that.
Coach, back here, Brian Baldinger, Fox Sports. Coach, I like big people. I'm sort of enamored by them. You have the biggest of the biggest in Laquan McGowan. I see where he's wearing number 80 now, Art.
Yes, sir. Where you at, Brian?
I'm right here, Coach. I'm standing up, kind of waving at you here.
By the platform.
Standing up? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I
I got you. All right. Yeah.
So I just
you're not
wanted to
quite
know,
as
I
big
mean,
as you
I
thought
know
you
you've
were.
kind of moved this kid to tight end now, Art, in his 5th year. And he's just, you know, he's everything that you see in college football, but he's the biggest person in college football. A little bit about the desire and the fact that you've moved him to tight end and what we can expect and what
sir.
you see from this enormous, great kid.
Well, you know, first of all, Brian, I'm like you. I like big guys too. I like them a lot, and I respect your football IQ. You know, and I think that's very important for people that are involved in this game, that they have a good football IQ. They understand the game, they understand the people, they understand the concepts, and they understand everything that's going on in the game of college football. So I respect you for that. To answer your question, I don't think he's just the biggest guy in college football. He's probably the biggest guy in football, you know, in general. I mean, he's 6'8", 403 pounds right now, slimmed down to that. So he's really doing a good job. The reason that we did move him is that he can help our football team. I mean, that's the bottom line. Everything we do is for the big picture. You know, how can we get our guys in position to help us win? It's a chance for Laquan to play, you know, 14 to 25 plays a game and be effective. We weren't sure that he could be effective playing 88 to 100 plays a game, you know, which we would like to run offensively at a guard position. So this is an opportunity for him with his unique skill level, because he does have a very unique skill level. You know, if he wasn't skilled, if he couldn't catch the ball, if he didn't have light feet, and he didn't have a good presence about him, then we wouldn't put him there. But it's an opportunity to put him at a position to where we feel like he can make a difference in our football team and help us win games.
Okay, we're going to move to your left, Coach, about
Yes, sir.
halfway back on the left-hand side.
I'm catching on.
Hey, Art, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Talking about a big guy, what about Sean Oakman? A lot of superlatives thrown around about him. I'm curious, from your perspective, is there an adjective or a superlative that you're most impressed with now as he heads into what a lot of people think is going to be a big year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the other superlatives are, but I mean, the ones that I'm proud of is, you know, great leader, great human being, college graduate in December, and a guy that's unwavering in his motivation and his ambition to be great. You know, so those are characteristics that, you know, I feel like we all should possess. And Sean is you know, done a tremendous job of seeing the big picture, you know, being a great leader for us, understanding the magnitude that he can have for our football team, the leadership ability that he has for our team and for himself. And, you know, so we're blessed that he decided to come back to Durango too, because that's two, you know, potentially first-round draft choices from a year ago that, you know, hopefully we'll be able to fulfill that dream in 16.
Coach, just a little to your right, 3/4 of the way back. Put your hand up a little higher.
it.
There you go.
I'm Carter Lacey with the 2 Minute Drill podcast. So he asked about Laquan McGowan. I just have to ask, what do you think is the biggest improvement he made in the offseason? We saw that video of him making, you know, one-handed catches. So what's the biggest improvement he made?
I think just his consistency. You know, I mean, it's hard on a big guy. It's hard on a big guy to get up and grind every day. It's hard on anybody. But when you're 400-plus pounds, you know, you gotta burn a little hotter. And so I think he's learned how to, you know, to burn hot, to see a goal, to chase a vision, to chase a dream, and to work hard to fulfill it. So to me, that's where he's improved, you know, over what he was prior. And, you know, once again, we can all, you know, look at that and use that daily. But he's done extremely well. You know, we're really proud of him, and we're excited about what he can do for us this fall.
Okay, all the way to the left-hand side, about 3/4 of the way back.
Got her.
Barry, put your hand
Got
up.
him. Yeah.
Barry Trammell with the Oklahoman. Art,
Yes,
the committee's decision in December, did that make you guys at Baylor rethink your scheduling philosophy at all?
Well, I mean, those were long-term, you know, thinking. You know, truth be known, I think if we'd have gone 12-0, then, there's no doubt we're in. I mean, we're in there and we're rolling. So that's something that, we win all our games. It takes care of itself. The scheduling format is, these things are made years in advance. We're actually working on our schedule to, maybe, make it look better to the public and help us if it does come down that. But, I've never met a good loss or met a bad win. So I mean, our job is to win, and my job is to win. And if we line up and we win 12 games this year, we're going to be in the Final Four. I mean, I think you can put that in ink right now, because we will have beaten many ranked teams in this conference, and last year we beat more top 10 teams than anybody in America. So, we come through there without a blemish. We'll be in good shape.
Okay, we've got a
And
question.
so will the Big 12.
All the way back where the cameras are, Coach, on the right side, just a little bit.
Got him.
Right over here, Coach. Sean Gagey, News 10
You're getting
Sports.
better. You're coachable. I'm telling you, you're coachable.
My eligibility's been used up.
Thank goodness. God, I don't.
Sean Gagey, News 10 Sports. Coach, I think early on when you first took this job, I think the motivation was to get to the top was easy. The whole started from the bottom, and we want to get there. Now that you're here, you've won back-to-back Big 12 titles, and you're still not the favorite to win the title this year. Do you guys appreciate that as still being able to have that chip on your shoulder that you've still got work to do? Is that something you relish?
Did you really say started from the bottom, now we're here? I mean, did I hear you say that? But that's never heard that before. But we're never going to lose that. I mean, getting chosen second. I mean that's okay. Like I said, it's better than getting third. I guess you got to win it 3 times in a row to get picked first. But that's we understand how we've been able to get to this point. And to get to this point has been through, trying hard to earn respect, never earning respect, understanding that people, don't know our names. So we want to, make people know our names by our actions, by our performance on the field. And so that's something that will continually stay with us, because even if you do achieve, what you'd like to achieve, I mean, there's always going to be doubters, and doubters are motivators.
This is the final question on the right-hand side, all the way over here on the right-hand side, about 3 rows back.
Hey, Coach. Bruce Marshall at Sports Byline USA. Quick question about when Coach Montgomery moved to Tulsa late last year, and how you might have got involved when you found out he was interested, and what role you might have played. Did you try to talk him out of it? And then the quick transition then to Kendall to take over.
Yeah, all that stuff happened. I'm trying to think of the dates, but I think it was about the middle of December, around the 14th, 15th, somewhere in there. We're actually in Katy, Texas, recruiting, and he gets a call. Or I was in Katy, and Monty was somewhere else. It might have been in Tulsa. But, he gives me the call. But, I was all for it. I mean, all the way. I've been with Coach Montgomery since 96 or 97, and he's been a tremendously loyal person. He's done it the right way. He's never self-promoted. He's stayed on the radar. He's let his actions speak for himself, and he's done a tremendous job. He's a tremendous coach, very intelligent, very innovative, and very caring. So I was extremely, extremely happy for him, as I was Dino Babers, who's the head coach at Bowling Green now, that was on our staff. The transition into Kendall was, kind of just a natural transition. We didn't have a lot of time to get ready before the bowl game, with it looming about 2 weeks away at that time. And, Kendall's been around our system and our program, ever since, he could say mama, so it's, he understands what we're doing. And that's critical, and it's important, because we don't have to reteach. We just have to rethink a little bit. And our players know what they're getting. They understand, how they're going to be treated, what they're going to be expected to do, and how they're going to be expected to do it. And I like the fact that Kendall is going to be, calling the shots. I think that he'll bring a very innovative, a fearless type of approach to our offense. Not that, we've been extremely conservative, but I think that we'll, even be able to escalate that and take it to another level, because, you know, you don't want to stay the same. I mean, when you stay the same, you know, people catch you and you get caught, and it's called an MO, and that's why criminals get caught, because they do the same thing over and over again. You know, you track them, you look at them. If you hunt, you know this deer comes here every day, or if you fish, you know they get in this fishing hole. So, you know, you got to be a little different. So I think it gives us a chance to be a little bit different, and that's exciting to me. It's very exciting.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much for your comments.
Thank y'all very much.